Well, good afternoon, everyone. Thank you all for coming. A beautiful day to unveil the latest piece on the sculpture trail. I want to introduce myself. I'm Mark Foley with MKF Properties, and this is Carol Driscoll from the Carving Studio. And so welcome to the event. I want a special thanks to the mayor, to the aldermen, the legislatures, and all those that are here to unveil this tribute to the Rutland Halloween Parade. Tom Fagan, who helped make it an internationally known event, and Batman, who was featured alongside Fagan in multiple issues. Today's event, like the entire trail, was made possible by the partnership of the Carving Studio and Sculpture Center in West Rutland, Green Mountain Power, MKF Properties, and Vermont Quarries. It's certainly a unique group and process in that the entire trail has been planned, commissioned, funded, and produced with very little overhead through a lot of creative collaboration. The sculpture was carved by Danby White Marble, donated by Vermont Quarries, among the finest marble anywhere in the world. So I want to thank the partners specifically, and Vermont Quarries, incredible continuing support through stone selection, cutting, and donation. Thank you, Luca Manalini. Because of Luca's generosity, nearly all of the funds raised for the trail are supporting the artist's work, which is incredibly important to this process. The Carving Studio, obviously, for their administrative planning management efforts, including recruiting and hiring artists, overseeing installation, and managing budgets. Thank you, Carol. GMP for financial and logistical support, particularly the guys that are behind the scenes like Mike and Roger, who move these pieces and sweat the details. And then through Steve Costello, even though retired from GMP now, continues his fundraising and marketing work as part of the trail. And unfortunately, Steve is out of town and not able to be here today. And of course, our other partners, Carpenter and Costin, Russ and his team, and Green Screen Graphics, Nikki and her team, who've always been strong supporters and work closely with us on site prep, signage for each piece, and of course my team at MKF. So thank you to all the partners on the trail. Thank you. Each of the partners brings unique skills and attributes to the effort, and together we're pleased to continue to expand the trail and its impact on downtown. Besides the piece we unveiled today, last week we unveiled Redfield Proctor as the 10th piece, and we have one honoring Ernie and Willow Royal that's nearing completion and should be installed next spring, and two others yet to be announced that are going through fundraising and planning stages right now. All of these works are donated to the City of Rutland, so Mayor Dunges, thank you for your continued support of these efforts. As we prepare to unveil the piece, I want to begin with an acknowledgement of the funders of the Rutland Sculpture Trail, and specifically this piece. Planning and creating these sculptures is a complex and expensive process, yet we've been able to raise hundreds of thousands of dollars over the last 6 years to create these wonderful additions to downtown and to raise awareness of our fascinating and like today's case, even fun history. This piece brought together numerous institutions and people who helped make it possible. They're all involved in our community in a host of ways, strengthening it and improving it through their work, their philanthropy, and their community building efforts. You'll hear from a few of the lead donors in a moment, but I want to acknowledge all the funders of this piece now. They include Captain Credit Union and Heritage Family Credit Union, Green Mountain Power, the City of Rutland, Davy Tree Expert Company, the Downtown Rutland Partnership, Four Seasons Sotheby's International Realty, PEG TV, channels 1075, 1085, and 1095, Rob and Colleen Mitchell, Russ and Renee Marzon, Rutland Blooms, Sarah and Glegg McCullen, Steve and Jane Costello, and TPW Management. Thank you for joining me and thanking them for the incredible financial support. In addition, I want to thank Senator Patrick Leahy. This went all the way up the chain for his and DC's support and collaboration. From the beginning of this planning for this piece, we wanted to include Batman in the sculpture, and we were thrilled when Senator Leahy helped connect us with folks at DC, who graciously granted permission to Senator Leahy, who is a lifelong Batman fan and has appeared in several Batman movies. DC has been an incredible partner and supporter of our efforts. Fagan's connection with comic book artists helped make the Rutland Halloween Parade famous across the country in the early 70s with a deep connection to Batman. Comic book creators attended the parade and huge parties that followed in those early years and incorporated Fagan and the city of Rutland and his storylines in more than 24 comic books. The sculpture is based on a panel from Batman number 237, a 1971 comic book that featured the Rutland Halloween Parade. I'd now like to introduce Carol Driscoll from the Carving Studio to speak a little bit about the artist. Carol?
Thank you, Mark. And a big thank you to Mark Foley and MKF Properties. He's been a delight to work with, along with all the other partners. For 35 years, the Carving Studio has recruited professional artists to create, teach, and exhibit sculpture at our historic facility in West Rutland. While many of the monuments for the Rutland Sculpture Trail have been created by Vermont and regional artists, our mission to engage a wide community in making sculpture has attracted sculptors from around the world. In this case, we selected 2 unique, talented artists to create the Rutland Halloween Parade Monument and honor its founder, Tom Fagan. The internationally recognized artist made our dream for this sculpture a reality, and both of them have ongoing relationships with see us at the Carving Studio and Sculpture Center as artist educators. Award-winning sculptor Jianin Wu from China created the original design based on the issue Batman 237, and the marble block was carved by Italian artist Alessandro Lombardo, an extraordinary talented sculptor, as you'll see in a moment. We are delighted that Jianin Wu was able to travel from New York, where he teaches at the New York Academy of the Fine Arts, to be with us for this special event. It is my great pleasure to introduce Jianin so he can speak a bit about his process of creating the model and Batman's history. Please come up.
Yeah, I was so excited when I was notified I'm be involved in this project, because I was a huge Batman fan since I was a child. So I feel so honored. The Carving Studio and I started this project since 2020 January, and we had been working on this for like a half a year. We change a lot of drawings, some sketches. We start from freestanding, like a 3 feet tall freestanding sculpture, to finally move to this kind of bas relief. And we do even in the transportation of this model, some damage happened, so we went back to fix it and re-sculpt it. So this is I would say, it's a very long and complex process, but finally we made it, and like all the work, all the effort is worthy. So here I want to thank to all the donors. I want to thank to the Carving Studio, thanks to Carol, and thank to everyone who made effort in this process for making this happen. I hope you enjoy it. Thank you.
Thank you, Gianna. Unfortunately, Alessandro Lombardo is in Italy, where he lives and works most of the year, and he could not be with us today. But we are indebted to him for his amazing collaboration with Jianin. As you'll see in a moment, Alessandro did an incredible job working from Jianin's model. Mark?
Hey, thanks, Carol. And now I'd like to invite the 3 of our lead funders to speak for a moment. They are Heritage Families Captain Credit Union, Tom Leopold from PEG TV. Why don't you guys come up, and then Kristen Carlson. Why don't you guys come back up here, and I'll give you all a chance to speak about your interest and your commitment to the trail. Tom, I'm going to let you go first, okay?
My name's Tom Leopold. I'm the executive director of PEG TV. We've had a long heritage and history with the Rutland City Halloween Parade. We plan on covering it live again this year, this Saturday. And I'm very happy to be the first time to actually speak before Captain Credit. I've never had that before. I think we should take it a step further and actually change the name of this street to Adam West Street. And I actually think Batman looks good for a guy in his 80s. Ever since I was a kid, I've been a huge Batman fan. I still have the comic books that my dad bought me 50 years ago. I still have them, including the one that takes place at the Rutland Halloween Parade. And I think superhero images are very important. I mean, one thing I always realize when you see an image of a superhero, it reminds you to do the right thing. And I think it's a very important message for kids to look up to superheroes. Again, I'm very pleased and happy that PEG TV was able to sponsor this. I want to thank everybody involved that brought this to fruition. And I also grew up in Danby, so I'm also happy that it's made out of Danby marble. So thank you very much and enjoy the parade this Saturday.
Captain, your last chance to say something.
I think it's really super to have another hero here in Rutland. This is just a fabulous addition to the walking trail around Rutland, and it's great to have one of my personal heroes and savings heroes at that, Batman. So I'll hand it over to you.
Thank you. It's tough to follow that. Hi, everybody. I'm Kristen Carlson with Green Mountain Power. We are so honored to be a part of this community and to support the beautiful sculpture trail. It's always a good day when your kid asks, what are you doing for work today? And you say, I'm unveiling a statue of Batman. And so they were pretty pumped for me to be here. I think that this sculpture not only brings beauty and pride to the community, but is also a really critical representation of Rutland. Like Batman, who doesn't have any superhero powers, he's sort of one of my favorite superheroes for that reason. He uses the skills he has, the talent he has, to really outsmart and save the day and do good every day. And what a fitting tribute to Rutland and this community and who the people of Rutland are. So we are so excited to unveil this, and I guess other people are too. Thank you.
Thank you, Kristen. And now, the moment we've all been waiting for. It took far longer than expected thanks to the pandemic, weather, travel challenges, and the like, but today we're thrilled to bring Batman back to Rutland. It's a powerful, fun piece of art with deep connection to the parade's history and Batman's role in it. I see Captain and Kristen are ready. Let's unveil this sculpture. Like most of you, many of you, I see familiar faces that have been to many of these unveilings, and every time it's sort of a similar response that the talent of these artists, the incredible rich history that the community has, and the celebration of it through art, through the carving, is just incredible. So here you have Batman, and so I'd like to thank once again everyone involved, the members of the Sculpture Trail, GMP, the Carving Studio, MKF Properties, Vermont Quarries, artists Jin and Wu and Alessandro Lombardo, Senator Leahy and DC, and all the funders. Stay tuned for more news about the Sculpture Trail in the coming months, and thank you all for coming.